So today I'm at my friend Ryan's house. Ryan has three children, and one of them, little Luna, is after a bunk bed. Now I've done bunk beds before. See if I can put a picture on screen to show you. Previously did a space-themed room for Xander when he was 5 years old, I think, and that was in our old house. In this house, obviously not my house, but we're going to build something here. So I'll put some footage up to show you what the room looks like currently before we then tackle it, make it look really nice. So it's going to have to be very rigid, lots of bolts in the wall, which are solid brick, by the way, I have checked, just to make sure that it's safe. And then we're going to have a prefabricated purchased ladder that's going to go on the side. Could build a ladder, probably work out around about the same price as it costs to buy one. But I figure if you buy one, at least you've got someone to blame if it breaks. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. And Luna, what are we doing in your room today?
Building my bed.
Building your bed. And what type of bed? What type of bed would you like?
Pink.
Right, first of all, let's get rid of this bed. Well, that was nice and easy, wasn't it? So first job, reference point, is to put the lines across, which we've used a spirit level 4, so that's all the way around. Luckily, it does dodge the light fitting. It does cover this, and it will be high enough for the little one to stand underneath as well. The ladder, pre-configured ladder, is already built. It was literally 5 pieces of wood, so that will rest level with the top of that. So kind of the ladder has dictated the height of this, but I'm pretty happy with that. So this is going to look very nice. As usual, I use a triangular square. What a weird combo of words, to cut the wood nice and straight. So yeah, that always works very, very well. My trusty Ryobi saw, though the blade is a little bit blunt, as you'll probably see, it takes a little longer to cut through, and I just finish up with a saw to get all the way through at the end. As is the beauty with old houses, if it's touching in the corner, excuse the lighting, but if it's touching in the corner here and touching in the corner there, of course what you want is a 1-inch gap between the wood and the wall. Want this ideally to be screwed into the wall without any spaces, so the thought is to trim, just put a thin line across the back, spaced equally, just to give it a bit of a bend so that we can pin it in properly without the risk of any screws or raw plugs ripping out the wall. So we'll do that first, and this is the reference piece that we're then going to use to work around the rest, and then there'll be one straight across the front as well. So, progress report, as he tripped over a drill and had to do a second take. This is now nice and straight. We've spaced it in such a way that we can have a nice piece of wood in there and it'll be touching the architrave bit. So this is nice and level all the way along now. Now, of course, there is a bit of an issue in that the wood will overhang. It's just the way that it's worked out. So this window is going to be locked for safety, but yeah, we're going to put a little leg under there, leg about middle here as well, just to make sure that there's no movement, because I know kids love to jump on beds. And yeah, so that's progress. The next piece is going to go straight from this corner all the way to here, which we'll screw in that way, and then we can start making it a little bit stronger. And from there, we put a front beam in and then just a couple of noggins to hold it nice and firm. So the main structure is up. I am confident that this will take the weight of a child, because it will take the weight of a big child like me. So I definitely know that it's strong enough. But just to be extra safe and to over-engineer it as best as possible, I'm going to put some legs, 4 legs on it. One here, one over by the wall, and one somewhere on the back, just to over-engineer it and make sure that it is safe as possible for the little kids, because kids always like to jump off beds, and if they don't have a nice solid structure, there's a risk of them getting hurt, and that'll be on me. So make sure that it's as safe as possible. Now, kids love bunk beds, and I know that from when I built that one for Xander. He would have several friends on the bunk bed. His cousins would come round, and we'd have 4 or 5 kids all on there at the same time, jumping and laughing and giggling around. Therefore, you have to kind of work out a way of making this over-engineered, and the best way I find of doing that is to put some legs on the bottom of it. These can be painted the same colour as the walls, so eventually these aren't even really going to be that noticeable, but it just makes sure that this is super safe. As I say, structure needs to be safe, and that's basically the most important factor for me in designing this. So first thing here was to take some more chunks out of the skirting board, ready for some beams. The one that you just saw me cutting out above that was the windowsill. So I also needed to trim with my trusty chisel and pink hammer just a little bit of a notch. And as you'll see, when it went in, it fit absolutely lovely, and then that could be bolted to the wall. Progress, we have these front legs in here, one bolted to the wall, one bolted down to the floor. I think what we might end up doing, we're either going to box straight across there and put some shelves in to utilise this space, or I thought it might be nice to have like some pillows up there, and then she can sit back and maybe put a television underneath where there's a plug socket already. So I haven't quite decided what we're going to be able to do with that yet, but it is nice and solid. That's all in, and it looks really lovely so far. Instead of bed slats, I asked Ryan to go and fetch some MDF for me, and he came back with this, which was probably expensive. It was an inch thick MDF sheet, but again, can't hurt just adding a bit more rigidity to the structure. We have it on the top, mate.
Yeah, looking good.
And you're safely up there.
Well, if it can take my weight, it can take William, can't it?
There we go. We then used 50mm screws, so 2-inch screws into the noggins, which I placed below, just to hold everything in place safely. Oh, it's a bit dusty, but do you want to test it, see what you think?
Go on.
Go on then, go up the ladder. Ignore the wood glue and the tools, don't touch the tools.
Go on then, up you go.
Ooh, what do we think so far? Keep going, all the way. Keep going, it's safe, you can go on it. I've been on there so far, so it can definitely take your weight, little one. There you go.
Do you like
What do you
it?
think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You like
It's not
it?
finished yet.
It's not finished. We're going to lift the side up. We're going to hide this corner bit, maybe make a chair out of that.
So,
And we might put some storage up there because this is longer than your mattress. Do you want a TV?
do you want your TV on this wall, so that when you lay in bed you can watch TV? Or do you want us to turn this bit into a chair underneath and have your TV underneath here, so you can have a little den to watch TV in?
TV on the wall.
You want the TV
On
on
the
the
wall.
wall?
That's
so you
what
can watch it
Auntie
in bed?
said.
Yeah?
Okay.
We'll do that then.
Okay. Go yay.
Yay.
So it is day 2, or evening 2, or a couple of hours later from the previous bit of the video. Since I was last here, a television has miraculously grown on the wall, but there are wires which are trailing down here. Those are going to need to be trunked, so we'll do that at some point. But why I'm here now is we want to obviously start using this space, and it's not currently safe unless there's some kind of bed guard. Obviously we don't want the little one to roll over in the night and fall to a doom onto the carpet. So what we need to do first of all is measure this space down to the floor. To the top there is 125 centimetres. The mattress is 15 centimetres, so we've got to add that on, and then obviously we've got to add another probably 10 to 15 centimetres above that, so if she rolls to the side, she's not going to, as I say, fall out. So that's the next job. And then I think the fun part is going to be designing how this opening happens. So we're going to have a piece of wood that goes here, and then we're going to have to put another one on and join them up with a bit of wood filler prior to sanding and painting. I haven't kind of thought of what we're going to do design wise yet, but I like the idea of making this kind of an archway here, which we can do with the trusty jigsaw, and perhaps either a window for the kids to look through, or perhaps some kind of art, whether or not we go for some shapes which are painted in complementary colours or something like that. So kind of designing this one as we go, but again, come along for the journey. So we brought the piece of wood downstairs. This is what thickness?
9mm.
9mm MDF. A big 2.4 metre by 1.2 metre sheet.
Possibly 2.6.
Possibly 2.6. I don't know if that's a standard size, but it seemed to be way taller than the ceiling, which I thought was a 2.4 metre standard height, but there we are. So what we've done is we've cut a little hole. This is going to be for putting your hand through to switch the light on and off, which is the other side of this piece of wood. These markings are actually on the reverse. This is just to show us where the top of the bed is and also where the mattress will end. So this is the height that we've got, which is about 20 centimetres. Should be sufficient to stop the little one rolling out of bed. And then what we did here was just worked out the lines traced from the inside of the frame and then used a plate. It wasn't even a plate. What did we use?
Pizza tray.
A pizza tray, the biggest circular object we had, which we traced around, and then we just used the trusty jigsaw to cut that out. So I don't think you'll be able to lift that on your own, but from the other side it should look a lot nicer. And let's get it installed. You turn it on its side. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. And then we've got to put the next one on this side and then safely join them together before it can all be painted and stuff. So that's the next job. Let's get this up the stairs. So here it is in situ. It might fall. You're very confident just letting it stand on its own with no screws in. But basically, if you just want to demonstrate the hole and how we can do the light. So there we go. That's why we put that in there. Just to make it easier and save you having to break your wrist every time you turn the light on and off through there. Could have moved the light, of course. You're a very talented man, but easier to just work with what you've got already.
I'll move it eventually.
Yeah, and here we've got this all drawn up, as I say, and connected over. Just makes a much more pleasing aesthetic for the eye. So now we're going to have to make another one here, and there needs to be a gap for the ladder, but we'll perhaps taper this one down or round, maybe do a half circle there, and make some kind of funky shape, just to make it again look pretty. So that's the next job. Now let's get another piece of wood. Okay, so this one is securely fastened, it's not going anywhere. Before we put this piece on, and obviously work out where the contours are going to need to be, I want to put the mattress on. Don't worry, I'll do this bit of my own.
Yeah, all right, mate.
I'm really strong. So, yeah. So, if we get the mattress up here, we should. If you want to come around this bit again, so just to show you around the side there, that's the height that I really wanted to kind of keep this as safe as possible for the little one. Any lower and I'm concerned she could roll over. Now we could always bring it down later if it works out that it is too high, but again I would rather be safe. We could have gone down to here or something, but there's always the risk that she could just roll over the top.
Plus
so,
if Kerry saw this video and we were cutting it down and it wasn't 2 feet tall,
yes,
she'd be absolutely fuming.
My wife, she would go mad. So yeah, that's the plan there. So what we're going to do now is we worked out obviously where this is going to be. I think because the light switch is somewhere behind there, I'm more inclined to move the bed down a little bit. We can do something funky up there, but I don't want to cover the light switch up. So we'll work that out in a little bit. So that's where the bed's going to end. She's only a dot, so she's not going to kick the telly or anything. So yeah, let's get this on, draw some nice lines, cut it out, bring it back up, screw it in, and then we can talk about bracing that. So, weird diagram. That is the top of the bed. That is the mattress, and this is the bit we've got to play with. Now, obviously, we need access. When you get up to the top of the ladder, you don't want to have to climb over the top of this. This part is going to go. So this is all going to get cut out. That's where the ladder's going to go and get straight up onto the mattress. However, we're going to need some way of transitioning from the join down there. So using a trusty pizza thingy doodah, I'm thinking we go over that way and then somewhere from around here, curve it the other way and see if we can work out like a wave, make it look like that pretty so that it comes down. Because otherwise it's going to go down and then it's going to stop and it's going to be a straight line, and I don't know if that's going to look right. So I haven't decided yet. I'm going to draw it off camera in case I messed it up. But yeah, that's what we're going to do now. So the ladder is repositioned. That is now cut, and as you can see, we did the lovely curves with the pizza thingy doodah. We've just got to sand that top bit so that those join perfectly, because I find it really annoying when it's not exact. So we'll sort that in just a sec. We're also going to brace this section, which we haven't done just yet, but just to get this bit. The little one, I think, is going to struggle to get from this step all the way over there. I think the older kids will be fine because they've all apparently been playing up here, but we need something to go up there. So just got a piece, an offcut of wood, which I've just given it a quick sand to get rid of all the sharp parts. And I think if we can get that on there and then drop it down just so it's past those bits there, yeah, back there. And I think that will work well as an extra step, just to be extra safe. So if we bang 2 or 3 long screws through that, I think that will work really well. So that's the next bit, and then brace that, and I think that's it for today. And then we'll come back and start doing some nice decorative stuff, which is going to be where this really gets fun. So unfortunately, due to other commitments, I wasn't able to do any more work on the bunk bed. As we'd done the majority of the work already, I left it to Ryan to be able to finish it all off. What he did was fillered all of the screw holes that we'd made. He sanded it all down and gave it 2 coats of a lovely lavender colour, which was very feminine and looked lovely for the little one. So he added a mirror on the side, and I also donated an offcut of slat wall that I'd used from another project. He put that on the bottom underneath in the little den section, and that was also great for hiding those cables, save any of the little ones pulling on them. They're now tucked away neatly, and there was no need to actually use any trunking as I suggested at the beginning. The other thing was some nice fairy lights. I don't think you get to see them in the finished footage, but they are around the kind of archway that we cut in, which looked lovely. So here we go. This is a bit of footage that he sent me on WhatsApp just to show you the finale.
All right, finished product. All painted. And give that a little sand down, take all the bumps off because there's a couple. I hate painting. Just put a second coat on the top. Got the mirror back on. Needs cleaning. Let's click the lights back up. And we've got panelling on that wall as well. Ready to put a clothes rail in and various little shelves. Yeah. Looking good.
So that's another simple project done. On to the next one, and I'll see you next time.